Welcome back to our space of secrets. Today, we're going to touch a wound that many of you know all too well, the silent love for a best friend. That secret we keep under lock and key for fear of destroying everything. Valentina, thank you for your courage in being here today.
You know, I can still vividly recall that specific scent of vanilla perfume Mariana always used to wear. It was incredibly sweet, perhaps a bit too overwhelming for anyone else, but for me, it was the comforting scent of my entire universe. We grew up side by side in a humble, crowded neighborhood in Mexico City. And ever since we turned 15, my whole existence seemed to orbit around her in a profound way I couldn't possibly explain to anyone. I remember countless afternoons sitting on the rug of her room, helping her frantically choose the perfect outfit to go out with some new guy, and feeling my heart quietly break, tying itself into a tight, painful knot inside my chest. She would laugh, toss her dark hair back in the mirror, and ask, "Valen, do I look pretty?" And I, hiding a storm of unspoken feelings, could only whisper, "You look beautiful, friend." Always just the friend. I would reach out to fix the collar of her blouse, smoothing the fabric with trembling hands, just to have a valid excuse to be near her, just to be within her personal space for one fleeting second. And that silence was the heavy secret I carried every single day. Our intimacy was that confusing thing that only women understand, or that I thought I understood. We slept in the same bed so many times. Just girl stuff, she would say. But for me, feeling her breathing on my back in the middle of the night, it was torture and paradise at the same time. I would lie there frozen, afraid to move in case she noticed my heart was beating way too fast like I was running a marathon. I would look at her hands, long, delicate fingers, and imagine what it would be like if those hands touched me, not like a sister, but like a woman. I know there are people watching right now who have spent sleepless nights like that, staring at the ceiling, praying for the feeling to go away, but deep down, wishing she would wake up and see what was right there, right beside her. The worst of all were the conversations about men. She didn't do it on purpose. I know she didn't. She thought I was just the perfect confidant. "Valen, Carlos won't text back. Valen, Diego is a bad kisser." And I had to be the crying shoulder. I listened to every detail, every complaint, and inside I was screaming. I would never treat you like that. I would never ignore you. But on the outside, I just nodded and said, "They don't deserve you, Mariana," and poured her another cup of coffee. It was a cycle of masochism. I hated her boyfriends, not just out of jealousy, but because they had what I wanted. The right to touch her in public, the right to hold her hand in the street without anyone thinking it was weird. And I only had the emotional leftovers. And then there were the touches. She was very physical, too affectionate. Sometimes we were watching a movie on the couch and she would lay her head on my lap, ask me to play with her hair, or intertwine her fingers with mine while we walked. For a straight person, that's just affection, pure friendship. But for me, every touch was an electric shock, a mixed signal that drove me crazy. I would think, could it be? Does she feel the same, or am I imagining things? That doubt is poison. It corrodes you slowly, because you start analyzing every look, every lingering smile, looking for a clue, a hope. and at the same time feeling guilty, like you were betraying her trust by wanting something more. It's a thin, dangerous line. Until that rainy night in October arrived, the night that changed our dynamic forever. Her parents had gone out of town, and she asked me to come over because she was terrified of thunder. We were in the living room. The power had gone out because of the storm. Only a few candles illuminated her face. We were drinking cheap wine and laughing at nonsense. The mood was light, but there was something in the air, a tension I had never felt before. She stopped laughing suddenly and just stared at me with those brown eyes shining in the candlelight. And the silence that settled in wasn't awkward. It was heavy with meaning. I froze, gripped the wine glass tight so my hand wouldn't shake, and thought, it's now or never. Either she figures it out and hates me, or... She leaned in my direction, slowly, very slowly. It happened in slow motion, but also all at once. When her lips finally touched mine, it wasn't tentative, it was desperate. It tasted like cheap red wine and years of suppressed longing, suppressed secrets. I remember the sound of the rain hitting the window pane seemed to disappear, replaced entirely by the thumping of my own heart in my ears. Thump, thump, thump. Deafening. Her hands, usually so gentle, grabbed my face with a kind of urgency that scared me. She kissed me like she was drowning, and I was the only air left in the room. My brain short-circuited. Every logical thought about she's straight or she's my best friend evaporated instantly. For those few seconds, in the flickering candlelight, she was mine. I felt her shiver against me, and I didn't know if it was from cold, from passion, or from terror. But I kissed her back with everything I had held inside for 3 years. It felt like coming home and breaking into a burning house at the same time. But then, just as quickly as it started, she pulled away. It wasn't a gentle pull, it was a shove. The look in her eyes changed instantly, from desire to absolute panic, like a deer caught in headlights. She covered her mouth with her hand, staring at me like I was a stranger or a monster. The silence that followed was suffocating, heavier than the darkness in the room. I don't know why I did that, she whispered, her voice trembling. I don't like girls, Valen. It was the wine. I'm drunk. Those words, it was the wine. They cut deeper than any knife could. I sat there, paralyzed, my lips still tingling from her touch, while she scrambled to rewrite reality right in front of me. She stood up, knocking over her empty glass, the sound of shattering glass echoing the shattering of my heart. We need to sleep, she said coldly, avoiding my eyes. Let's just forget this happened. The next morning was a master class in gaslighting, a cruel performance of pretending. I woke up on the couch, my neck stiff, my soul bruised. When I walked into the kitchen, the smell of burnt toast hit me, bitter and dry. Mariana was there, making coffee, humming a song. Humming! As if the world hadn't tilted on its axis the night before. I looked at her, waiting for an acknowledgement, a look, anything. But she turned to me with a bright, fake smile, a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Morning, sleep well?" she asked, too loud, too cheerful. I felt like I was going crazy. Had I imagined it? I looked at the spot on the floor where the glass had broken, but she had already swept it up. No evidence, no proof, just my memory versus her denial. I tried to speak, "Mariana, about last night," but she cut me off instantly. "Do you want sugar? I bought the donuts you like." She was building a wall, brick by brick, with every cheerful sentence blocking out the truth.
That week was torture. Absolute emotional torture. We went back to our routine, but everything felt wrong. Like wearing a sweater that's too tight and itchy. Every time our hands accidentally brushed against each other, she would flinch away as if I burned her. I started to question my own sanity and my own morality. I felt dirty, predatory. Did I take advantage of her? Did I make it happen with my mind? But then I would remember the way she grabbed me, the way she leaned in. I wasn't the one who crossed the line. She was. But I was the one paying the price for it. I watched her from across the room, laughing with our other friends, acting so normal, while I felt like I was carrying a bomb inside my chest. I wanted to shake her, scream at her. "Admit it! Admit you felt it too!" But I stayed silent, terrified that if I pushed her, I would lose the friendship completely. And losing her, even this fake version of her, felt like death to me. But the final blow, the thing that really broke me, happened on Friday. We were at a bar. The music was loud, the bass vibrating in the floor. Mariana disappeared for 20 minutes, and when she came back, she wasn't alone. She was dragging a guy by the hand, some tall, generic guy named Roberto. She practically shoved him in my face. "Valen, meet Roberto. Isn't he cute? We're going to dance." She looked at me with a challenge in her eyes, a cruel defiance. She was using him as a shield, a human barrier to prove to herself and to me that she was normal. She started dancing with him, grinding against him, but she kept looking at me over his shoulder. It was a performance, a show put on just for an audience of one, me. It was her way of saying, "See, this is who I am. That kiss meant nothing." And I stood there, holding my drink, watching the woman I loved try to erase me with a stranger's body.
That is brutal, Valentina. The panic boyfriend move. It's a classic defense mechanism, isn't it? Listeners, question for you. Have you ever had someone try to prove they were straight right in front of you after a moment of intimacy? Does it hurt more than the rejection itself? Tell us in the comments.
I didn't stay to watch the end of that show. I couldn't. The smell of stale beer and cheap cologne in that club suddenly made me want to vomit. I watched Roberto's hand slide down her back, lower and lower, and she didn't stop him. She looked right at me while he did it, a look that was empty, almost challenging. I felt like I was being stabbed in the chest over and over again with every beat of the music. I turned around and pushed my way through the crowd, desperate for air. desperate to escape the image of them together. I walked out into the cold night air, the sudden silence of the street ringing in my ears. I didn't even say goodbye. I just got into a taxi and gave my address, staring out the window, watching the city lights blur through my tears. I felt small, pathetic. I had given her my heart on a silver platter, and she had handed it to a stranger just to prove a point. When I got home, I went straight to the shower. I turned the water on as hot as I could stand it, trying to scrub the feeling of her rejection off my skin. I sat on the shower floor, hugging my knees, letting the water mix with my tears. I felt foolish. Of course she's straight, I told myself. You're just the delusional best friend. I decided right there, sitting on those cold tiles, that I was done. I would kill this feeling. I would bury it deep down where it couldn't hurt me anymore. I would be the friend she wanted, the platonic, asexual, safe friend. No more longing looks, no more hope. I dragged myself to bed, exhausted, my eyes swollen, hoping that sleep would just erase the last 24 hours. But then, at 3:14 a.m., my phone buzzed on the nightstand. The screen lit up the dark room, blinding me. It was her, Mariana. My heart betrayed me instantly, leaping into my throat. I picked it up, my hands shaking. The text read, "Why did you leave me? He's boring. I miss you." Just like that. No apology for the guy, no mention of the kiss, just, "I miss you." It was a breadcrumb, a tiny scrap of affection thrown to a starving dog, and I, God help me, I ate it up. I typed and deleted 3 different responses, trying to be strong, trying to be angry, but in the end, I just wrote, "I was tired. Are you okay?" I hated myself for sending it. I was giving her permission to keep hurting me. The next few weeks were a nightmare of mixed signals. She kept dating Roberto, but she was emotionally dating me. She would go out to dinner with him, but text me under the table the whole time. "He chews with his mouth open," she would text. "I wish I was watching Netflix with you." She used me as her emotional anchor, draining all my energy, while giving him her body. It was the ultimate selfish act. She wanted the safety of a boyfriend to show the world and the intimacy of a girlfriend to keep her sane. And I let her do it. I was her secret keeper, her 2 a.m. therapist, her backup plan. Every time I tried to pull away, to take longer to reply, to be busy, she would sense it. She would show up at my door with ice cream or call me crying about some minor drama, reeling me back in. She knew exactly which buttons to push. The breaking point didn't come from me. It came from her jealousy. I met a girl at a coffee shop, Elena. She was nice, funny, and openly gay. We weren't dating, just talking. But for the first time in months, I felt seen. I mentioned Elena to Mariana casually one afternoon. "Oh, Elena recommended this book." The change in Mariana was instant and terrifying. Her face went cold. "Who is Elena?" she snapped, her voice sharp like broken glass. "Are you sleeping with her?" The hypocrisy hit me like a slap in the face. She was dating a man, but she was furious that I was even talking to a woman. She stood up, pacing the room, acting like a betrayed wife. "You can't trust these lesbians, Valen," she spat out, using the word like an insult. "She just wants to get in your pants." I looked at her, stunned. It wasn't concern, it was possession. She didn't want me, but she didn't want anyone else to have me either.
The audacity. She didn't want me, but didn't want anyone else to have me. That is the definition of toxic possessiveness. Listeners, have you ever dealt with the dog in the manger syndrome? Someone who rejects you but goes crazy when you try to move on? Let's talk about that hypocrisy in the comments.
That accusation hung in the air like a toxic cloud, suffocating every bit of oxygen left in my small living room. "She just wants to get in your pants," she had said, with such disgust, such venom, as if desire between two women was something dirty, something beneath her, even though she was the one who had kissed me just weeks before. I looked at her, really looked at her, perhaps for the first time without the rose-colored glasses of my infatuation. I saw the way her jaw was clenched tight, the way her knuckles were white from gripping the back of my sofa, and I realized with a sick feeling in my stomach that this wasn't about protecting me. This was about ownership. It was like I was a toy she had discarded in the corner, gathering dust. But the moment another child tried to pick me up to play, she suddenly wanted me back, screaming and stomping her feet. The silence stretched on for what felt like hours. The only sound was the distant hum of the refrigerator and the pounding of blood in my ears. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. My hands were trembling so badly I had to hide them in my pockets. I wanted to scream at her, to list every mixed signal, every late-night touch, every text message. But the words got stuck in my throat like shards of glass. How could she stand there in my house criticizing a woman she had never met simply for being gay while she was the one emotionally manipulating me? The hypocrisy was so thick I could taste it, bitter and metallic on my tongue. And for a second, I felt something new rising up inside me. Not love, not longing, but a spark of pure, cold anger. When I got home, I went straight to the shower. I turned the water on as hot as I could stand it, trying to scrub the feeling of her rejection off my skin. I sat on the shower floor, hugging my knees, letting the water mix with my tears. I felt foolish. Of course she's straight, I told myself. You're just the delusional best friend. I decided right there, sitting on those cold tiles, that I was done. I would kill this feeling. I would bury it deep down where it couldn't hurt me anymore. I would be the friend she wanted, the platonic, asexual, safe friend. No more longing looks, no more hope. I dragged myself to bed, exhausted, my eyes swollen, hoping that sleep would just erase the last 24 hours. The night reached its breaking point when I excused myself to go to the bathroom just to get 5 minutes of silence. just to breathe without feeling like I was being strangled by her jealousy. I was standing in front of the mirror, splashing cold water on my face, watching the water drip down my chin, and staring at my own red, tired eyes, wondering how I had let my life become this soap opera. Suddenly, the door banged open. It was her, Mariana. She didn't say a word. She just walked over and locked the main door behind her, the click of the lock echoing loud in the tiled room. My heart stopped. She walked up to me, her eyes dark, dilated, unreadable. She cornered me against the sink, so close I could smell the wine on her breath and that damn vanilla perfume that haunted my dreams. "Do you like her?" she whispered, her voice low, dangerous. She reached out and touched my hair, tucking a strand behind my ear, her fingers lingering on my neck, right on my pulse point. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. "She's nice," I stammered, my voice betraying me. Mariana let out a humorless laugh, a dry, cruel sound. "She doesn't know you like I do, Valen," she murmured, leaning in until her lips were almost brushing mine, just like that night in the dark. "She can't love you like I do." It was the cruelest thing she could have said. She was dangling Bacterid again, promising me everything while giving me nothing. She was asserting her dominance, reminding me that no matter who I met, she could always snap her fingers and I would come running. And the worst part? In that moment, pressed against the cold porcelain sink, I almost kissed her again. I went home that night alone, having made some excuse to leave early, leaving Elena confused and Mariana triumphant. The next few days were a blur of depression. I stopped eating. Food tasted like ash in my mouth. I stopped sleeping. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face in the bathroom mirror, felt her hand on my neck. I was wasting away, literally and metaphorically. My phone kept buzzing with texts from her, memes, jokes, questions about her outfit, as if she hadn't cornered me and mentally assaulted me in a public bathroom. That is the thing about narcissists. They move on instantly while you are left picking up the pieces of your sanity. I lay in bed for hours, staring at the cracks in the ceiling, tracing them with my eyes, realizing they looked like a map of my fractured psyche. I started to wonder if I was the villain. Maybe I was obsessed. Maybe I was reading too much into it. But then I would remember the kiss, the jealousy, the bathroom. No, I wasn't crazy. I was being abused. It wasn't physical. She didn't hit me, but she was beating me black and blue on the inside. She was keeping me in a glass jar, poking holes in the lid, just enough to keep me alive, but never letting me out. I realized that if I stayed in this friendship, if I stayed in this limbo, I would eventually die. Maybe not my body, but my soul would wither away until there was nothing left but a shell, a shadow of Valentina waiting for Mariana to throw me a crumb. Then came the final blow, the event that shattered whatever fragile hope I was still clinging to. It was a Tuesday afternoon, a gray, rainy Tuesday.
Mariana came over unannounced, bursting through my door with a bottle of champagne and a manic energy that set my teeth on edge. She was glowing, literally vibrating with excitement. "Sit down," she commanded, pushing me onto the sofa before I could even say hello. She popped the cork, the loud pop making me jump, and poured 2 glasses, spilling some on my carpet in her haste. "Look!" she shrieked and shoved her left hand in my face. A ring. A diamond ring. It wasn't huge, but it was unmistakable. "Roberto proposed!" she screamed, jumping up and down. "We're getting married!" The world stopped. The room spun. I felt the blood drain from my face, leaving me cold and dizzy. She was marrying him after everything. After the complaints, after the bathroom, after the kiss. She was marrying the boring guy. But that wasn't the worst part. Oh no. The worst part was what she asked next. She grabbed my frozen hands, looked deep into my eyes with that terrifyingly fake sincerity, and said, "And Valen, you have to be my maid of honor. You have to plan everything because you know me better than anyone. You know exactly what I love." She wanted me, the woman she knew was in love with her, to plan her wedding to a man she didn't even seem to like. It was the ultimate act of cruelty, disguised as an honor. She wanted me to build the altar upon which she would sacrifice my heart.
I am literally shaking. She asked you to be the maid of honor? That is psychological warfare, pure and simple. It's like she wanted to force you to watch her choose someone else from the front row. Listeners, have you ever been forced to celebrate the happiness of the person who broke your heart? How did you survive it? Tell me in the comments below.
The next 3 months were a blur of white lace, overpriced floral arrangements, and my own silent disintegration. I became a ghost in my own life, haunting the bridal boutiques and cake tastings like a specter of misery. I held her train while she tried on dresses, forcing a smile while the shop assistant gushed about how radiant she looked. "Doesn't she look perfect, Valen?" they would ask, and I would nod, feeling the bile rise in my throat. "Perfect," I would choke out. Mariana was in her element, feeding off the attention, ordering me around like a servant. "Valen, hold my purse. Valen, fix my hem. Valen, tell Roberto he's an idiot." I was her emotional punching bag and her crutch. She would have panic attacks at 2 a.m. about the color of the napkins, and I would talk her down until dawn, listening to her breathe on the phone, hating myself for still finding comfort in the sound. I was planning the funeral of my own heart, picking out the flowers for the grave of our friendship, and paying for the privilege with my sanity. I lost 10 pounds. I looked gaunt. My friends, my real friends, begged me to step down. "She's eating you alive," they said. But I couldn't. I was addicted to the pain, addicted to being the only one she needed, even if it was for all the wrong reasons. The night before the wedding, the rehearsal dinner, was the final test. The air was thick with humidity and the smell of roasted pork. Mariana had too much champagne. She cornered me on the balcony of the hotel, away from the guests, away from Roberto. She looked beautiful, terrifyingly beautiful in the moonlight, her eyes glassy and wild. She grabbed my hands, her grip tight, desperate. "Valen," she whispered, slurring her words slightly. "Are we making a mistake?" "We." She said "we," as if I was the one getting married, as if we were a unit. My heart hammered against my ribs, a traitorous, stupid organ. "What do you mean?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. She leaned in close, her forehead resting against mine, the scent of vanilla enveloping me one last time. "If you told me not to," she breathed, her lips inches from mine, "if you asked me to run away right now, I would." It was the cruelest thing she had ever done. She was handing me a loaded gun and asking me to pull the trigger. She wanted me to be the villain. She wanted me to be the reason she destroyed her life so she wouldn't have to take responsibility. In that moment, on that balcony, something inside me finally snapped. It wasn't a loud crack. It was a quiet, definitive shift. I looked at her, really looked at her. I saw the selfishness, the manipulation, the bottomless pit of need that I could never fill. If I said, "Run with me," she would ruin us both and then blame me for it in 6 months. She didn't love me. She loved that I loved her. She loved the power. I gently pulled my hands away from hers, the loss of contact feeling like freezing water. "You're drunk, Mariana," I said, my voice steady for the first time in years. "Go marry Roberto. He's waiting for you." The look of shock on her face was worth every second of pain. She expected me to beg. She expected me to fight for her. But I didn't. I walked back inside, leaving her alone on the balcony, leaving her to the fate she had chosen. I realized then that I didn't want to win her anymore. I didn't want the prize because the prize was poisoned. The wedding day was a spectacle. I walked down the aisle in a dress I hated, stood beside her at the altar, and watched her say "I do" to a man she didn't respect. I didn't cry. I felt numb, hollow, but also strangely light. When the reception started, when the music started pumping and everyone was distracted by the free bar, I made my move. I didn't give a speech. I didn't toast the happy couple. I went to the cloakroom, grabbed my coat, and walked out the back door. The cool night air hit my face like a baptism. I walked to my car, the sound of my heels clicking on the pavement, the only sound in the world. I sat in the driver's seat, took my phone out, and did the one thing I should have done 3 years ago. I opened her contact, Mariana, and I pressed block. Then I blocked her on Instagram, on Facebook, everywhere. I didn't send a goodbye text. I didn't explain. I just vanished. It was the only power I had left, the power of my absence. That was 2 years ago. I heard through mutual friends that she freaked out when she realized I was gone. She tried to call my mom, my work. She even showed up at my old apartment, but I had already moved. She told people I abandoned her, that I was jealous and crazy. Let her talk. I'm living in a different city now. I have a girlfriend, someone who holds my hand in public, someone who kisses me back without needing to be drunk, someone who introduces me to her family with pride. Sometimes, late at night, I wonder if Mariana thinks about me. I wonder if she looks at Roberto across the breakfast table and regrets the safe choice. But then I look at the woman sleeping next to me, peaceful and real. And I realize I don't care anymore. I didn't lose my best friend that day. I escaped a captor. And that is the greatest love story of my life. The day I learned to love myself enough to walk away.
Wow, the power of my absence. That gave me chills, Valentina. The fact that you didn't give her the satisfaction of a final fight was the ultimate victory. Ladies, gentlemen, everyone watching, I have one final question for you. Is there someone in your life you need to block right now to save your own soul? Who are you holding on to that is letting you go? Tell us your story in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.